Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore! Well, look, first off, congratulations on the movie. I will tell you, going into it, I like watching movies like this now where I don't look up anything. I don't watch a trailer. I just go for the experience. And what an experience this movie is. So again, congratulations on it. I guess it's a question to start for both of you. And Naomie, we could start with you. What was the attraction of the Wasp to the both of you? And what part of the story made you want to be a part of it? If Naomie, we could start with you.
So I was bullied at school, and I loved when I read the script that here was a script that was dealing with the lasting legacy of bullying. I think so often people think that, these childhood traumas happen, you kind of box them up and you move on with your life. But I think they do continue to impact you as an adult. And I loved how that was dealt with. Obviously, my bullying did not impact me in the way that it did Heather, but it still did have a lasting impact. And so I loved that exploration and just the theme generally of childhood traumas playing out in adult life if you don't deal with them.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I think, especially it's nice that we're living in a time now where I think people are more aware of it than they were in generations prior. Natalie, same question for you. What was the appeal of this movie for you?
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree with Naomie. It's, both Carla and Heather have suffered profound childhood trauma. And it's, I was bullied too, but it wasn't the exact reason that I went for this movie. For me, it was this beautiful opportunity to look at choice, what you do with that trauma, the responsibility that we have as humans to ourselves and each other. And Morgan Lloyd Malcolm, the playwright of this original play, who was our screenwriter to turn it into the movie, I know that she really wanted to create two female characters that feel fully fleshed out, meaty, complex, a piece that's multi-layered so that your allegiance and your sympathy jumps between the two characters as it unravels, and your sympathy and the power play between the two jumps. And that's just really, it's unusual to come across such an opportunity like that for two actresses, No,
absolutely. And you brought up Morgan Lloyd Malcolm, and I guess this is another question for the both of you in regards to the original play, The Wasp, then being adapted into a screenplay. When it's a play that's adapted into a film, you automatically think there's going to be more dialogue heavy, very character focused, just because of the origins of the story and where the original subject material came from or source material. Do you find, as actresses or actors, either way that you want to say it, do you find that coming from a play where there is more dialogue, it gets a little bit meatier on the characters, and let's say a script based on any other property where it might be action, a lot of set pieces. This is all character work, Naomie, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree. And that was definitely the draw. I just I loved how multifaceted and multi-layered the script as a whole is, and also the characters are allowed to be. I love the fact that, there's no villain really, and there's no hero. They're both flawed characters and they're allowed to be flawed. And I think so often, particularly for women, we have to be good. And there's only one side of us that's kind of explored. And I love that all sides of these women are explored constantly, and it constantly flips so that you think you know the character, and then you're shown another side of them that you didn't expect to see.
I know it's hard to talk about this movie without going into spoilers because I would want to ask you 1,000 questions, but I want to keep it surface level. Would you agree with that assessment, though, Natalie, based on the characters and what Naomie just said?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I mean it's very focused on the subject between the two of them, and the back and forth and the flashbacks and things of that nature. How much of an influence, or did you lean on, Naomie, at all, Morgan's original play and the screenplay? Were you able to have conversations at all if needed for clarity, or did you just kind of take it for what it was on the page?
I know Natalie looked at the screenplay. I didn't actually. I felt as though the script was so complete. It had everything that I needed to find her.
Yeah.
I didn't actually look at the stage play.
But you did, Natalie?
I knew the play from before because I knew Morgan before this project. Morgan was one of the people, Morgan flagged, gauged my interest. But I didn't actually see it on stage, which I think was a blessing. It allowed Naomie and I, although we both hadn't seen those performances, it allowed us to take ownership, and autonomy of our own characterizations. But in answer to your question, and I think Naomie and I both gave some sparing notes. The script is so much already there, but in this new reiteration, I think both of us gave Morgan a couple of questions and requests, and she was very responsive, right, Naomie?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think they were so minimal though. It was all there, so we didn't really change it very much at all. The odd word here and there, but I think that was it.
Right. And to be able to have, though, that open dialogue with a writer, they always say writers, and speaking to somebody who has written, not to the extent of Morgan, but, they say they're their worst editors and they're very protective of the word. So it's nice when there's an open collaboration on set. And did this film feel very collaborative in nature, Natalie?
Oh, incredibly so. Because obviously it's an intense experience doing a two-hander. You've got each other and the whites of each other's eyes. And Guillermo Morales was just a superb director in holding both our hands. He was, the third point in the triangle, and getting the balance right, because it's it's the power play that is so like fun and interesting in this film. It's the way it goes back and forth, and I think Guillermo did a brilliant job in his precision and in his instinct in jumping around, so that you got all textures of both Heather and Carla.
And I will say the movie is phenomenally paced, and you're able to follow the through line, and it just moves at a really good pace where you feel the drama at all times. And I thought that he did a fantastic job of jumping back and forth. And Naomie, you spoke to the childhood trauma, but what do you hope audiences take away when they're watching The Wasp? Are there specific emotions or thoughts or conversations that you want to occur after the viewing?
Yeah, I think what I'm most excited about is the fact that everybody who watches it has something different to take home. And I think that's what's so exciting about the movie. Just the title alone, like The Wasp and what it means different things to different people who see it. And I think that's the beauty of the piece. And also the fact that you walk away not knowing fully who you support. I think that's very rare in films, because everything is kind of narrowed down or reduced down to its most simplistic terms, but actually, as human beings, we're incredibly complex, and I love that is explored, and I love that will lead to so much dialogue.
It's not always a black hat, white hat like the Westerns used to tell you. Yeah, people are so nuanced and complex. Natalie, are there specific things that you would like people to take away from this, or conversations to be had?
No, I mean, I think Naomi's totally covered it. It's you're doing your job right in storytelling when it speaks to people on a personal level in a different way. It gives them their own, exploration and catharsis. That's when you've got a special one.
Well, this is a special film, and I highly suggest everybody go see it and support it. And just thank you both, Natalie and Naomie, for your time today and having this conversation with me.
Thank you so much.